How's it, Themba?
How's it going, man?
I'm doing like I bought a bicycle yesterday.
You bought a bicycle?
I'm gonna be that guy. Bought something that I'd never use. I already see it.
As an owner of a bicycle that gets used twice a month, I can tell you.
Is that you?
Anyways, we are back with another episode.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Roll the tape.
Welcome back to another episode of How's Life with Themba and Bouwer.
Here we go. We've settled for Themba and Bouwer. I like it.
I think we should do it like this. Whoever's speaking should give to tee the other one up. When I say welcome to the show, welcome to How's Life with Themba and Bouwer. But when you say it,
welcome to How's Life with Bouwer and Themba.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
See the synergy.
Okay. So today, it's not just Bouwer and Themba. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, Mr. Samuel de Fonseca.
You had it, actually.
Damn.
One of the first people to pronounce my name right.
Thank you.
Themba.
Say the surname.
Okay, can I give you my full name?
Oh, okay.
That's where it gets complicated. Because
Yeah.
I didn't choose to be Portuguese. That's just how I was born. So, my full name, Samuel Felipe Silva da Fonseca. Which,
Da
you don't even have to
Fonseca.
ask, did not fit on the final matric exam paper. So I had to get a whole nother sheet.
And your ID book?
No, I've got the card. It fits on the card, thankfully.
Okay, but you know when you're supposed to get like 1 mark for putting your name on a thing,
yeah.
they must give you 4 marks for
Dude.
putting your full name on a.
Seriously, I was like, can I get extra time, please?
But what's your? You say Felipe, yeah?
Yeah, Felipe.
That's beautiful. I like that.
Oh.
I can dig.
And even it's not Samuel.
No, it's Samuel.
Samuel.
Oh,
Yeah, how
snap.
crazy, eh?
My this is gonna be breaking news. My first name is actually Martinez. Martinez Bouwer. I just ruined my own
So you
career.
just go by your second name.
Well, luckily my parents never called me Martinez. On my ID book it says Martinez Bouwer, but thank goodness they were like, no one's gonna listen to Martinez Porsche's music. Let's just name him, give him a cooler name. But it's my mom's surname, Bouwer. That's where it comes from.
Well, since we're tripping in about names,
Yeah, I'm curious.
My last name's Behrens, which is German.
Oh, snap.
So I just decided to leave that out from a stage perspective, just because it's a lot of explaining every time.
Yeah.
People
I don't know
are
why I went like, oh wow, because I know that. I just reacted like as if I'm not. That's the thing with interviews. You always sound curious and like, oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Even though I knew that was his
You knew that the whole
surname.
time.
Suck it,
The
internet.
only other problem is like everybody tries to give it like a vernac sort of spin. So people are like, Behrens. Nope, it's just straight up parents. But anyways, guys, we are here to ask the question, and that is, how's life, Sam?
It's good. I think everybody will give a recurring theme. It's good, but it's tough.
Yeah.
I think now in life, like I'm having a lot of conversations with people lately, like real conversations, and people who I wouldn't thought generally would have opened up to me
Yeah.
are like opening up to me, like big clients that I work with saying to me like, yeah, life's tough at the moment. You know, we just do the same thing day in, day out, and it just feels like draining to an extent. I don't know if I feel the same. Like I love what I do every day. I get to drive the most amazing cars all the time.
Yeah.
Classic cars, sports cars, electric cars. I'm living my dream, to tell you the truth. That's like all I wanted to do when I was younger, just drive cars.
Yeah.
And I've got no complaints in that regard. And I've been able to drive so many cars that if I didn't, I would have still been dreaming about owning like RS3s, M2s, all that stuff. But I've realized now that actually you don't actually need that kind of stuff. Like it's cool,
Yeah.
but it's not really necessary for life. And I always thought that's what I like my thing in life was cars.
Yeah.
I thought that's what my happy place was. But actually now that I've got cars, I realize that actually isn't what makes Sam happy. And my girlfriend always says it. She's like, it's soul food at the end of the day. And it's so true. Like, spent time with my mom yesterday, saw my dad the other day, and it was so refreshing just to be with people who you love and people who you care about. And it just gives you so much perspective, because I feel like we get stuck in this like hamster wheel and we're just running and running and running and running. And then you look up and you're like, wait, why am I running?
Yeah.
What am I chasing?
Yeah.
Is it the M2? Is it the Porsche 911? Is it the big 4-bedroom house in Waterfall Estate? What is it?
Yeah.
Do I need it?
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting about that is, so you've got to that point now where you're like, okay, I've seen all these things, and you realize what really matters, kind of thing. What's super difficult about that for everybody else, it's the same as like people that go, life's not all about money, and that's always like some dude with like loads of money.
Yeah, yeah.
To everybody else, they're like, No, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
But it's literally that same thing. Everybody gets to that point, and also like building yourself up and getting to a point where you're somewhat comfortable, and you look around, you go, yeah, it isn't actually all about what you thought it was when you started.
But that's such an incredible lesson to learn. I don't know how old you are, but
25.
oh, no, but that's an incredible lesson to learn in that age. Just also because you live in we all live in a world where it's all about the flashiness, posting this, posting that, and you're in the content game yourself. And to be where you're at in that level of like content creation with like the highest, like the most expensive, nicest cars in the world, and still to go, well, this doesn't. At the end of the day, it's all about family and friends. That's a super valuable lesson. I didn't learn that at 25. That was incredible, bro.
Yeah, no.
Someone once told me like, I read it somewhere. Don't love things that can't love you back, and things can't love you
Yeah.
back. Like your car can't love you back. Your mom can, or your girlfriend, or your father.
It's true.
But like cars, it's terrible. Can't love you
Classic
back.
cars,
This guy
however-
with cars.
Classic cars, I don't know. Themba, you've got a VW Type 2, eh?
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
a
classic
Type
cars,
2.
bro.
Yeah, look, there is something, and I know we said we're not going to dwell too much on the car
No,
thing,
yeah,
but
of
let's dive into a little deeper. Classic cars. So, what is it for you about classic cars?
This is a very deep one, actually, to be honest, Themba, because it's not just the fact of a car being old.
Yeah,
I feel like in our modern society, we're missing a lot of what our parents grew up with.
yeah,
The innocence, the just going there, going here, not really caring, whatever it was. It's a sense of nostalgia that we just never got. Like nowadays, it just feels like everything's so complicated. Aside from touch screens and all of this, just society's gotten quite crazy. So sitting in this simplistic car where it's just you, the steering wheel, rolling up the windows, you play your classic tunes. I feel like it just takes you back to a time where things were just simple. You didn't have the amount of stresses as you did today.
it's a time machine. It's a time machine thing.
Yeah, it's
But-
less about the car, more about the feeling.
Yeah. So my first car ever was a 70s Beetle, and then I wish I'd kept it, but 20s made a couple of bad decisions, whatever. I thought I wanted like faster and faster kind of thing.
Oh.
So and then kind of got the opportunity to buy this combi, and I leapt at it. But actually, for the exact same point, is that I've got a son now, and I want him to grow up with that feeling of, the smell of the leather seats and the grease and there's no power steering. The gear lever is.
But don't you think when your child, because Benny's what, 2, now he's 3.
These three, yeah.
Don't you think when he's 20, the new Jayco 7 or the Cherry, that thing's gonna be vintage by the time he's 20?
The one
Like,
that
wow,
floats.
look at this thing, power steering. What
But
is
it's
this?
the same as like music. A lot of modern music, it's a hit for a month, and then
Yeah.
you never want to hear that song again. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you that wedding playlist,
Yeah,
that
slaps.
wedding playlist hasn't changed
Yeah.
for 60 years.
Brian Adams. Brian Adams is timeless. I just want to give the viewer context of what Sam does and like the content he makes. So Sam, in my opinion, I didn't read a bio. This is just how I see you. So in my mind, you're like a one-man Top Gear show. So you make this incredible long-form content where you drive with the electric vehicle from Joburg to Durban and test out the charging stations. You did that. You drove to Kenya now with the
Yeah.
BMW X5
Yeah.
that you built up from the ground up. So basically, Sam does car reviews, but on the most next level that you can think of. And I know you got someone shooting for you, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much a two-man team.
Yeah.
And
If not just me, to be honest.
yeah, but the career you've carved out is incredible because there's no other. The only one closest to you is like the big car, like Cars.co and Auto Trader. But I mean, that's mega companies with lots of budget and a marketing team of 10 people, where you just came out of nowhere. And what I like about your content is it's super personal, it's super fun and funny, but you kind of you dumb it down for Joe Public that don't know a lot about cars.
It's almost hybrid in that there's conversation for the guys who are like incredible car enthusiasts that are complete gearheads and want all the info, but then like the guys who are just kind of keen to find out a little bit. It's not intimidating. Like
Yeah.
we've spoken about it before and saying
actually-
a lot of the guys set up something where you're watching two experts talk, And as an outsider or a
Yeah.
newcomer, it's so intimidating. Whereas your stuff is it's relatable to a wide spectrum of people.
Your Instagram is called The Car Scene.
Yeah.
YouTube, same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's called The Car Scene.
Everywhere.
So check it out online. But I mean, on Instagram alone, you got 150,000 followers, which is
Yeah, dude.
incredible, dude. But that
Crazy.
shows you how amazing your content is. No one follows car content just because the picture of a car. Like, you do engaging stuff, dude. Like, the amount of times I almost bought a car just because of you said it's a good car. I'm like, oh. But can I ask a question about that? Like, how difficult is it for you to stay objective? Like, I know it's a job. We also get paid to go to events and go, listen, this is a this brand, I don't want to name a brand. And
It's a good coffee.
This is our Bantu coffee event. And then they go, listen, here's the budget for the evening. We want 5 stories or 5 posts. But with there's so many different car brands out there. And how do you make a decision to stay honest? So, like, sometimes there's faults. The car's got issues.
Yeah,
It's too heavy on fuel. But these guys paid you to be here. Like, how do you just navigate the honest conversation?
I don't often do campaigns with brands, with OEMs, for that specific reason, that I need to remain being honest. So for me, being honest hasn't really been a problem. I would say when I started, it was a problem, because the motor industry and the journalism media space is very weird at the moment, because technically speaking, any Tom, Dick and Harry with a cell phone can wake up one day and go, I want to be a motoring journalist. Start taking videos of cars, go to dealerships, take videos, all of a sudden you've got your first launch invite. It's actually easier than ever today. So when people say, Sam, I want to do what you do, I'm just like, pick up your phone and go and do it. Like, don't make an excuse. So for me in the beginning, the issue was I didn't have a huge following. So if you get invited by a brand to go on a launch and you say, hey, like the aircon on that one, for instance, like it didn't blow cold when, it's supposed to blow cold, or you point out this fault and that fault, then all of a sudden you're not invited on the next launch. You don't get the test car. The brand like cuts you. So to a certain extent, it's like until you get to a bit of a bigger presence where the brand is like, okay, we have to work with Sam because he gives us good views, and whether it's negative and whether it's positive, it's still feedback at the end of the day, and people need to hear about it. But if a car is totally rubbish, you won't find it on my page. I'd rather not even say anything about it, because I don't want to. But if people message me personally and say, hey, Sam, is this a good car that I should look at? I haven't seen a review on your channel. Then I'll be open and honest. I'll be like, okay, no, look, I didn't, because I didn't enjoy the car. But my whole thing is I don't really want to post a car unless I believe it is a good buy for people, because otherwise I don't want to be like, giving it publicity. And something that's really bothering me at the moment is the influx of Chinese cars in our market. Man, it's really annoying me, because it actually just feels like our government has just like completely sold us. And
Meaning the manufacturing side that is not made here.
Look, a lot of our manufacturing side is for export anyway, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. But the problem now comes in where these Chinese cars are landing here so cheap when fleets start buying all of them. Because that's like, you're talking 20, 40, 50 vehicles at a time. And historically, fleets would always buy Toyotas, Fords, which are obviously locally produced cars. So I find that quite annoying, the amount of Chinese cars that are coming in.
Yeah.
So
Who controls that? The government. So I know nothing about the industry.
I don't actually know. I think obviously the government has a say, and look, I can't confirm or deny, but it is suspicious. When the Haval Jolions released and the Cherry Tiggo Force, they came in at a stupid low price. But like such a low price that for any other brand to compete, you can't. It's like when it was like comparing apples with apples, it was like there's just like that apple's got all the syrup on it. Like, of course I want the syrupy apple. You know what I'm saying? So I think like Competition Commission, all of that, maybe should have gotten involved.
But why? So let me play devil's advocate. 'Cause I know nothing about this industry. But like, why? So the cars come in cheaper. Why? Because they manufacture it cheaper. Is that as simple as it is?
Yeah.
Or why is the other car so expensive? Like, why is a VW not twice, but like the jump is like 200, 300,000. So that'll make sense for Joe Public to go, now I can have a nice car with all the flashy bells for 400 or whatever the amount is.
It's a tough conversation, Bo.
Let's unpack it.
Welcome to How's Life, the serious deep dive.
Sorting out automotive
Economics.
issues in South Africa.
To put it simply, VW has VW tax on it, which is just the desirability of owning a VW. It just costs more, even though it's locally produced. The thing with the Chinese cars, and I reckon they were subsidized. So most of them are Chinese government owned. And that's my thing. I'm like, when you go buy a Chinese car, you're like giving money to the Chinese government. I'm like, just like get that in your head. That's like, that scares me, bro. But everything's made in China at the same time, so it's like, how do you win?
But I like the fact you voice note me something as well with your whole big Sam mission idea that you wanna approach the old motor industry. So all I'm taking from this is it's nice to see someone that's got a drive that's not about the car. It's not about getting that quick buck to go post a video. You've got a real passion to serve the people in the public. To go, listen, guys, this is what I think about this car. Honestly, it's cool, but here's one or two little niggles that I think, but you make the decision. And that's noble for me to see that you're not just the influencer, I'm calling it not influencer, content creator, that just do it for the quick buck. You like have a serious, like your why is very certain.
The last thing I ever want is for someone to message me and to say, hey, Sam, I followed your advice and it got me into shit. That is the last thing I ever need.
That's funny.
And thankfully, touch wood,
Yeah.
to this day, it's never happened.
Yeah, dude, but you it's truthful. The truthful. The stuff you make is very honest, and I don't know.
But we like that. Like we like the sort of the straightforward. I think we've never wanted to just make content for the sake of making content, and that's probably why. Okay, we spoke about it last time. We're saying we were way overdue a video, but it's just that thing like. When it's the right time, when we've got that good feeling, when we know it's going to be proper and genuine, then we'll roll it out. But talking, okay, so I mean we've covered the cars kind of thing. What else? If we dug a little deeper.
Can I ask something about the creation side? Because me and Themba, a lot of times we go through this. I don't want to speak on behalf of you.
Speak for me.
But we go through this insecure thing of like, oh, no one's gonna like this. This is stupid. Maybe don't post it. Like, do you ever go through an insecure thing before you make a video? Even though luckily you're just commenting on what you see in front of you. But do you ever go, oh, this is cool? People like just insecurities. How do you deal with that? Especially in an age where your identity is kind of like with us as well. As part of it is you attach a little bit to your brand and your following.
Well, I've always been quite silly. So I've always I've never minded like taking the piss out of myself. Like in the beginning with my videos, I used to, as a microphone, I'd like hold up a cactus or like hold a spoon and like talk into the spoon, and then it became a thing. I actually need to do that again because that's how like cool it was and how it actually doesn't matter. There have been moments where I've thought, this is cringe or this is kind of lame, but we're so desensitized to seeing things online. Like you scroll. Like you could have seen a video of somebody doing the utmost of dumbest thing, like running around naked in Times Square.
Yeah.
You won't remember that you saw that video.
Yeah.
If I asked you about it, if you saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
So I always keep that in mind, and actually loudest in the room, and like the dumber you do it, the better it does.
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah. So I once did this skit where it was a long time ago. I wanted to do a free fuel giveaway. So I did like a 5,000 Rand fuel voucher. And I was like, like, comment, share it. And to promote it, I went to the petrol station and I got dressed up in a Superman onesie with a pink wig. And I got a hose pipe and I attached it to the petrol pump. And I got the petrol attendant to like spray it over me while I lay on the bonnet.
What, petrol?
No, water.
No, I was like, what?
It looked like petrol. Everybody thought it was
Yes,
petrol.
I was like, what?
But I made that video and I was like, damn, this is dumb. But I posted it anyway, and it did well because it's actually just that shock value. But on your guys' side, there's always, I feel, more of a story to be told. It's a little bit more intertwined. I sort of felt like that with my Land Cruiser one. Yeah. But there's always, I think it even goes back to the thing of like, even if you had to ask me like, why did you start making videos? I don't know why I started making videos. Yeah. One day I just pulled up a camera and thought, let me stand in front of this car and say what I think about it, and let me take a picture and post it on Instagram. I didn't know this is what would happen. Yeah. It wasn't the intention.
But were you as a child super into cars?
Oh yeah, dude. Like,
but that makes sense though, because I can also just stand in front of a car, but I know nothing. I'm like Jon Snow. I know nothing.
But there's something interesting in that. Okay, you love cars, we know that, but you could have been a mechanic. You could have been
salesman.
True.
Salesman. Yes, this guy would sell cars.
Yeah. But
I did do sales at one point, not for cars though. But I always used to like take my parents' old phones. Like whenever they'd get a new phone, they'd give me their old phone, even if it was like buggered. But the only thing I would ever do is film videos. Yeah. And at the time, all of the old Nokias and Samsungs, you could like film and then press pause. And then I would do all those cool effects like where I would walk through a wall because I'd pause it and then hit the wall and then go stand on the other side of the wall and like walk away from the wall. And then when you thread the whole video, it's like, and I used to play with stuff like that, doing all these cool effects that when it was like, okay, I want to do stuff with cars, it felt so natural just to pick up a camera and just be like, okay, cool, this is the medium that I'm choosing. Because I used to write, but man, I hated writing.
Like what?
Articles.
Oh, snap.
Because I always say, geez, I wish I grew up in my parents' day and age. And then I think for a minute, I'm like, oh, I would have had to write.
Would have been at a typewriter. Just like,
Yeah.
But the new iPhone's coming out. Thank you for the sponsored iPhone. There's a new, that thing is like summarizing, and like you can write in that thing. It's like all next level. Anyway, I don't know why I brought up the iPhone.
Because of AI.
I'm
and stuff.
lazy.
So let's maybe just explore that interim. Okay, so you finished school and now you're here. Speaking about writing, what did you do after school and up until this point, or before things got really?
How old's the car scene now?
8 years.
So you
I
started this.
started when I was like 17, 18.
That's
insane.
incredible.
So,
man.
I can't drive yet, but I'm going to tell you about this car.
No, literally when I had my license, I started.
Okay, nice.
That was it. It was like,
That's
Yeah.
fair.
yeah, I walked into a dealership and I was like, I need to make videos.
I wouldn't like alcohol content from a 60-year-old. Hey guys, check out this new.
Dude, do you know how hard it was when I was young? Because it's like everybody was like, who's this young brat? And I think to a certain extent, it's still like that. It's hard to get your credibility.
Yeah.
But after school, I just knew I really enjoyed sales. I really enjoyed working with people. So my dad hooked me up with a job shadow at Celsi in corporate. And it went really well. They wanted me to come back and they wanted to like sponsor some of my studies. And I was like, no, I don't really know. That's when I realized I didn't really enjoy working for a boss. Just because I just don't like being managed. I need to come and go as I please.
Yeah.
If I want to wake up at 9, I'm going to wake up at 9. If I want to like stop working at 2, I'm going to stop working at 2 to go play golf. No one's going to tell me otherwise. So I realized I didn't really enjoy that. And at the time there was that Xbox game Forza. I just jammed Forza all day long. And I did make some money at Celsi. So my parents were like, Sam, like, no, you're sitting on your ass. You're not doing anything. And I was like, no, Dad, like, just relax. Like, I've got a plan. Like, I've got it figured out. Like, I've just started this Instagram page. And he's like,
What? That's what every parent wants to hear. Dad,
You started what?
chillax. I've just started an Instagram page.
Yeah. Listen, the
everything's
TikTok
fine.
challenge is starting tomorrow.
yeah, dude. So he looks at me and he's like, "Ma, bro, you are delusional. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think's gonna happen with this Instagram page?" So I said, "No, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go review cars, and like, this is what I want to do." And I ended up getting a gig with a GT mag, which was like a car magazine, and I wrote all these articles and stuff. Realized I really hate writing, and then just started posting for myself. And I started because the only way you could get cars, and I wanted to review new cars, the only way I could get access to cars was going into dealerships to ask them, like, hey guys, can I please review some of your cars? And the more I got involved with their business, the more I realized how I could help and how certain things were just really lame. So their Auto Trader photos. Oh, dude, the listings were a joke. It was like Q3s were listed as Q2s and descriptions were all wrong. It was like the pictures sucked. So I walked in there and I was like, hey, I'm taking beautiful pictures of your cars. Why don't you pay me to take pictures of your cars for Auto Trader anyway?
Yeah.
So cool. They said, lekker. And that was my first gig. And then I realized I made their Auto Traders look so beautiful. But then when I look at their social media, because my social media started booming, because I was now like almost infinite content. I was taking pictures of cars all the time and getting paid to do it. It was like, this is amazing. Looked at their socials and I was like, your socials suck. And I was studying an economics degree at the time. I don't know why I studied economics. Don't even use that piece of paper. So literally while I was doing all of this and working for dealers, I was studying economics. And I looked at their social. I was like, guys, pull them into meetings. I was like, look, I can make your social look as good as your Auto Trader. Got my first client, got my second client. Ended up taking 5 years to finish my 3-year economics degree.
Dad's still proud.
Yeah, Dad's like, how's that page going, bro?
Mom kind of still doesn't really understand how.
Sure.
So I was like, no, take videos, man. Like, what do you? And it just, it grew and it grew. And then during COVID, the dealership space didn't go too well. With data privacy laws and everything, it became really hard to harvest like really good quality leads.
Yeah.
And I just kept getting feedback from the clients, like, hey, we're getting less leads. And with the less leads, more declines. And it's just like not going well.
Yeah.
Like talking about budgets, I'm like, shit, I need to move away from this. And then I went full time into my own page with the car scene. And I just thought, I spent so much time developing other brands. But
Yeah.
if I put that effort into my own brand, I'm gonna double, triple my opportunities. And that's always how it was. Like I would go through these seasons where I'd put so much effort into the car scene, and I'd get clients, and then I'd be like, then I'd leave it, I'd let it sit for like 6 months, and then I'd get back into it and let it sit. And then 2020, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna hammer it. Like none of this inconsistency. I just want to kill it, and I want to be the best. And
Would you do? But you, in my opinion, you hands down the best. Would you ever?
there's
So
good guys out there, Bo.
well, maybe I
Oh.
should follow other people. Maybe it's just
Really
Yeah.
talented people.
I
in
still
this
think you're the
industry.
best, no matter who. How many car people I follow? I follow you. So you're also a car person.
Yeah, barely. Like I like cars. I don't.
Would
I
you
don't have a
would
lot
you
to
ever
say
do
about it.
like what would be the next step in terms of like what you do with your show at the moment? Would you want a TV show? Would you want like a Netflix type 13? Thank you for the sponsor, Netflix. Would you like a 13 episode thing where you travel the world with different kind of cars, or like what would be the ultimate gig for you with regards to what you're doing right now?
Oh, dude, I often ask myself that question. And after I got back from Kenya, it was the same thing. Like I kind of sat down and I was like, okay, what now? Because I can do so many things, but I don't have that much time. And that's what my parents always said to me. They were like, Sam, you're going to realize when you're old when you realize how precious time is.
Yeah.
But you're what do you mean? Are you terminally
25.
ill?
What?
Well, why
Terminally
don't
ill?
you have a lot of time?
No, dude, it's because you're always running around. Like for me,
Wow.
I'm always running around,
Yeah.
filming here. Okay, I'm going to tell you something crazy. It takes me long to make a video, dude. Like,
What's long? 2 days.
no, not 2 days, but the BMW and Mercedes video that I recently posted with the E30 and the 190E, the two old ones, I started scripting that at 8 a.m. Voiceovered it, everything, and I posted it by 5 p.m.
Well, that's a
Yeah,
full
it's-
day's work.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
that's
full
a
day's work.
solid.
But I still spent another 2 hours filming it the day before,
Yeah.
or an hour. It takes
And you edit on your phone or your laptop.
on my phone. And the thing is,
Do you edit those long ass
yeah,
things on your
bro,
phone?
voice noted everything on the phone, cut, captions. You don't need, and I like keeping it as little people as possible.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people say to me, Sam, why don't you just get somebody to help you? But it's like my voiceover needs to coincide with the visual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing's here.
It's all here. By the time I've voiceovered it, it's like, why am I going to pay someone when I can just go and just do it myself?
Yeah.
So when you ask me like, what's the next step? I really enjoy the wacky challenges. Just doing crazy stuff, like getting stuck in the middle of nowhere. Like, guys, what are we going to do now? Proving the impossible, like taking real old hunk of junk and just making it achieve something with really cool people. I think for me now, I'm sort of wanting to sway away from the car and go more into the people side of the
Yeah,
stories.
the experience. more.
Yeah, the experience more than the car. Like the car is cool, like, of course,
Yeah.
but let's use the car as a prop to tell a bigger story.
Yeah.
And me and Themba had a very productive conversation, and hopefully
Yeah, I
we can all
heard
do
about
some
it.
cool stuff.
I'm glad I could connect you guys. Sounds like it's gonna be fun. but you know, Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman with the motorcycle thing. They did that 3 TV shows where they used like a BMW. Thanks for the sponsor, BMW motorcycle, where they toured around the world. They did 3 different shows, and that whole thing, even though they used BMW motorcycles, it was all about you tune in not because of the bike, but
Yeah.
you tune in because they're traveling around the world, the ups and downs, the cool, and I think that's what makes your stuff, especially that Kenya one. I try to follow it as much as I can, but I mean to build a X5 from what was the deal? Anything
50
below
grand, eh?
50k. ne?
We had to, so I got challenged to buy a car for 30,000 Rand and then drive it all the way to Kenya. I didn't get given a budget to fix it or anything. And I've never done anything like that. So the first thing everybody tells you about Africa is it's unsafe to drive. Not because of like crime and everything, but because of the way people drive on the roads and the quality of the roads. So the first thing that went through my mind was, I need something safe. Like, we need something safe. We started viewing cars for 30,000 Rand. Safe was just like, that just left my mind. I was like, whatever, bro. I just want something that runs.
Yeah, but to get a BMW X5, that was incredible.
I'll explain. Dude, every single car we went to go look at, like engine mountings were gone, bro. I remember the one Cortina we arrived at, the guy's like, yeah, man, it's as sweet as the day I bought it. And he was like, convinced, bro, this thing's
There's a hole in the floor.
Yuckies, he says, bro. Start the engine, bro. The engine mountings are so done. The whole engine's like this, bro. I was like, dude, oh my gosh, bro. It feels like your engine's about to like take off. So left that car, and when we viewed that car, we were all the way in the Vaal. So we were like, geez, we need to buy a car today, guys. Like we had 20 or 28 days until we had to leave for Kenya, and we didn't even have a car. So I pulled up my Facebook Marketplace, and literally 38 minutes ago, BMW X5 with a 1UZ Lexus V8 swap. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, that's safe. That's reliable. We just need to go see the conversion and hopefully it's not been butchered. Jeez, we go to the car and it was a butchered conversion. But the car was covered in flies and muggies all over the windscreen and the bumper.
It's like a crime scene.
Yeah.
Is that the BMW from that Car Blanche episode?
Yeah, I said to the Oak,
Devilsdorp.
I said to the Oak, I was like, dude, what were you doing? Like, were you caning at top speed because you knew you were going to sell it? He says, no, I just arrived back from Cape Town. So I get into the car and I check. I'm like, oh, here's a whole bunch of fuel slips. I mean, it's a V8. So, like, you can imagine, I opened the thing and it was like, boom, fuel slips everywhere. So I look at the dates on the fuel slips. I'm like, yeah, no shit. You literally did just come from Cape Town. So I said, cool, I'll buy it. Like, straight there and then, didn't even, like, take it for a test drive. I'll buy it. Great, that's the one. Dom and Jamie, who are the guys who came with me, they were like, Sam, are you mad? I'm like, what do you mean? Dude, that's more proof that we're buying a running car than anything else. Dropped it off at Iron Line Customs, and I said to Ryan, I was like, bro, we need metal bumpers on this thing. And within 14 days, they fabricated metal bumpers the whole way around the car. Absolute insane, dude. It ended up looking like,
Yeah, it
like
looked
a
insane.
monster.
You could check out the video on Sam's page, but that,
Oh.
yeah, dude, it looked insane.
It was sick, but the car was a hazard.
Yeah.
Brakes were cooked, radiator was cooked, multiple oil leaks.
Watching like parts of the car that I never knew existed. You're like,
Yeah.
this is shot, that's shot, this is shot.
Oh, it was bad, dude. It squeaked. Like, you could jump on the back and it went
How old is those cars? Like 2000.
20-something years old. First generation. 2002 we had.
Wow.
So, like, when we dropped it off at the mechanic was like, never mind the fact that all of your electrics are like buggered up and your car could have shorted and caught itself on fire. Your suspension could snap in half. Your prop shaft could completely just like snap in half as well. It was like, we are driving a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
So we racked up a parts cost of another 33,000 Rand at Goldwagen. Thank you for the sponsor.
Shout out Goldwagen.
Shout out.
Yes, shout out. And yeah, dude, by the time we left, we hadn't driven that car over 10 kilometers. We hadn't, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
We hadn't. The longest time we had driven that. Oh, actually, we arrived to the start line to leave for Kenya, looked under the car, and it was like, oh, our gearbox is leaking. And we were there on the start line, which was at night, the start line party. And the next day we were supposed to leave. And we were like, okay, we have to go back and possibly miss the whole start and leave the.
What was the
next
event?
day. It was Africa Rally. So it's actually a public event.
No,
that-
it's incredible.
yeah, that anybody can attend. Dude,
Yeah.
it was.
How long is the drive to
Insane.
Kenya?
We left on the 30th of June, and I think we got to Kenya on the 25th of July.
Oh my sack.
It doesn't have to take you that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, you stop in places, go along Lake Malawi.
Oh, nice.
Tanzania, by the way, is the most amazing country. Like, genuinely. Because when you think about it, they've got the Serengeti, they've got Mount Kilimanjaro, they've got the beach in Dar es Salaam, and they've got the island in Zanzibar. And the people
Damn.
are so friendly, dude.
Yeah.
One of the only countries, we broke down in every country, obviously. We got stuck just after this like crazy bridge in Tanzania, after a town called Dodoma. And I was busy recording the bridge, and then the police came to shout at me. They're like, yeah, you can't record the bridge. I was like, what do you mean I can't
This
record
is
the
our bridge.
Bro, he goes through my iPhone, bro. He goes like, delete, then goes to recently deleted, puts the phone to my face, goes, delete. I was
Just
like,
because of the bridge.
yeah, because the bridge. I was like, why? He's like, not allowed. Just not allowed. He just could not give me a reason. Drive over the bridge. I'm not even kidding you, dude. Not even like 100 meters later, a car just dies. Like, completely. We overheated it. So, we're like, what are we going to do? I don't want to go back to that guy and ask that
No.
guy for help. He was quite
He
mean.
seems nice.
First car that comes past, old Madala, comes past. He's like, hey, what's going on here? Why you guys stopped? Can I help you? I'm like, yeah, sir, our radiator pipe burst. Like, our car doesn't have any water. It overheated. He's like, yeah, jump in the car. Takes me to the village, literally like the village, 2 kilometers down the road. I was like, cool, go buy water. He buys me water.
Oh,
Would
nice.
not let me pay for water, dude. Buys us water, drives me all the way back to the car, waits until everything's okay. We put water, wait for the car to like cool down, because we were also letting people sign our cars with like a Koki pen, which was really cool. So we gave him the Koki pen, he signed our car with his autograph, and off they went. And a couple miles later, we got stuck again because all the water had cycled through the radiator and there was an airlock, sorry. So got stuck again. A motorbike driver comes past and he's like, "Hey, do you guys need help? Do you need a phone? Do you need anything?" It's like, whoa.
Yeah, South Africa, that
Incredible
wouldn't
place.
happen. You'd still be by that bridge.
Yeah, he's like, you want a phone? Because he sells like 5 phones, like a little business.
But you know what's really incredible about it is, like you mentioned, experiences, and I think it's one of those things that's post COVID. Everyone's realized the whole time element. We've realized about experiences. The unfortunate thing is not everybody is able to do what we do and have the flexibility that we have, kind of thing. So you've got to live it vicariously through other people, and I think that's the quality you bring, is that there's so many people who go, they watch and they go, flip. I mean, I don't have time, or I can't do a tour like that, but it's genuine. You know, like I think reality TV, we know, everyone knows it's slightly scripted, whatever. But just watching like a breakdown, it's super exciting, and it's just, I think the value of the content is incredible that you bring, man. So
And people want to see you suffer.
yeah,
Dude, like low key.
we
Like,
just want to see someone else's day go worse than
But do you
yours.
take your favorite artist? There's someone said once, like, you want Adele and Taylor Swift to go through breakups the whole time, because
they're
that's
the
when
best
they bring out, you like those songs the most.
Yeah.
You like Adele's, you like the sad stuff.
No.
So it's unfair to go, oh, I want you to, are you still with that guy? Oh, but you think you should go through a breakup again so you could send me like a treffer again? There's something about like you want an artist to. Like, I mean, didn't Da Vinci cut off his ear and he made his best work ever?
wasn't that Van Gogh?
Was it Da Vinci? Van Gogh,
Van Gogh.
damn it. See, I don't know an artist. But Van Gogh cut off his ear. I mean, how bad did it have to be for him to cut
Didn't
off
he
his
give
ear?
his ear to his wife?
Was that the story?
I think he did give his ear to his wife, or he gave it to his lover.
I think he sent it to a prostitute.
Our producer, Lalani, just said, our producer said Van Gogh sent his ear to a prostitute.
Jeez, that's something rude
That's
to
an
call his
interesting
wife.
payment.
To be honest with you, like I've hit a mental block creatively recently, but I don't think cutting my ear off and sending it
Yeah, let's
to
try.
a
Let's try. Yeah.
prostitute is gonna be.
Should I buy it?
Yeah.
Should I go? Should I read the book How to Steal Like an Artist? And what's those creative books, or should I cut off my ear? I'm gonna go with the ear.
Maybe he just took "I'm all ears" too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like, "Here you go." Here's my
that's the
first
name
one."
of the thing.
So,
Yeah.
but over and above cars, what do you enjoy? We spoke, you
said golf.
Quality.
I
time?
used to play golf. I used to play golf. Yeah, I played really good golf. I used to play for South Africa actually when I was younger.
What?
Oh, snap.
Yeah, and then I was so naughty in school. I was one of the naughtiest kids. I got expelled 3 times from high
My
school.
man.
The only reason I'm saying that
School's
on-
not for everyone, dude.
It's not. That's exactly the only reason I'm
Schools can
saying
suck
it.
it sometimes. Not the one that my daughter's in. Thank you for that. Shout out Woodlands.
But the only reason why I say that on public forum is because for people to realize that, the youngsters, because
Yeah.
it's so easy to go through school and get stuck in this system where you're just like taught that if you don't do well in maths, now you're going to become nothing in life. And it's like, no, that's actually like not true. I flunked basically freaking everything,
But
dude.
school's not for everyone. I'm
No,
saying.
it's not, bro. So I got to grade 9 and my parents looked at my grades and they were like, you are not going to play golf no more.
Oh snap!
You need it. Because
The irony is, there's way more money in golf than on Instagram pages.
But you have to be, the thing is, you have to be flipping good at golf. And I was
Yeah, the
good, but I
margins.
wasn't one of the best.
Yeah.
I was good enough to like go and represent and be like, let's just make sure we've got enough people there playing on the field, so it looks like there's stuff happening. But I'd take home a few trophies, but nothing.
But you grew up in Joburg.
Yeah, bro, in 4 years. In the north.
In the north, my brew.
North
my
side.
brew. But I one of my favorite metaphors for life is the game of golf, and saying it doesn't matter if you tee up the most beautiful drive, it's not over till you've got the ball in the hole. And the
Yeah.
thing is, you can fluff your drive and then play the next 2 shots incredibly
You
well.
can fix it.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the whole game. Your first 9 might be abysmal, and then your second 9 could bring it back, and that's life. Your school's your first 9.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Maybe it doesn't go so well. The dude who's just he's been incredible this entire time. He could hit a hurdle in his 20s and the thing, like, and we've spoken about it in previous episodes and saying, like, if you don't have a bit of struggle, or maybe it's the other way around. Like struggle makes you a little bit stronger, or being met with challenges makes you a little bit stronger, and then it gives you that fortitude to push through. Whereas if things are just way too easy,
you have to go through that adversity.
That's how the car industry works. To segue back, that's how you test the car, bro. You put it to the mud. It's like, I hate those videos. You know when people want to show the car is a 4x4, they just drive through mud, like water splashing. I'm like, this is nothing. And then with all the snow now, you see how many like Fortuners and all those 4x4 that got stuck in the snow. I'm like, I saw a video last month about the duff lock and this thing with the back wheels turning, and now you're stuck in the snow here.
All-wheel drive, baby.
I went to I ride motorcycles. Shout out to motorcycles. I went to the Sani Pass. Have you driven the Sani Pass up?
I want to do it,
dude. But they did a Top Gear
in a 4x4.
They did a Top Gear episode there once with Matt LeBlanc, where they drove up. I can't remember the car, but there's taxis that go up there, 4x4 tax, dude. But the road is torture. Like I ride like a off-road motorcycle. It's made for like bumpy road. It's like, and they like comes a taxi down with like 16 people because there's a restaurant at the top there.
Yes.
And a 4x4 taxi, and that guy drives like he just finished his advanced racing course. Like he should be a Dakar driver. He should be Janil de Villiers. He's like clapping his 16-seater. But it was insane, dude. I was like, mad respect for those guys.
When did you do that?
That was like, I did it 3 times. The first time it was like that, but they paved, a lot of it's like scraped. The road's very boring now with regards to how it was. The point was there was like extremely fun for adventurers, like 4x4s, and because it snowed a lot. So, but now apparently they're going to tar the whole way up.
Oh, no.
But it's beautiful. It's insane. It's like 5 hours from here. It's like
it's 8. It's like, because you have to go down the other side of Lesotho.
Yeah, sorry, I mean like to get to Underberg. I mean like it's 5 hours to get there, and then you can do Sony. Yeah. But it's just it's mind blowing. But
I want to do it in a Bajaj.
What's that?
You know the little yellow thing?
Oh, the taxi. Is that what we're gonna do? Is that our show?
Do you guys
we're gonna do one episode? Let's feature on your show. I'm inviting me to your show now.
Call it 3 guys in a Bajaj.
Going up so fast.
But isn't this
lean forward, suck your tummy in?
But it'll be fine now because it's just scraped.
Well,
but that'll be incredible.
They told me that the engine would cut out because of the altitude.
Also there's a few parts at the end, the switchbacks. It's hella steep. That might be dangerous with that car. I won't do it with that car.
No, we'll do it. We'll take 2 just in case, because my thing was we'll just leave the doors unlocked, so when you start feeling it tipping, you just jump, and then you'll just replace it with the other one and just be like, that's who we are.
I got it. We got sponsors already. You take the, what's it called?
The Bajaji.
Bajaj. I take a Pick and Pay ASAP motorcycle.
I'll take one of those cutes.
What is
that? Is the cute. The Bajaj.
Oh, is it? Is the Bajaj cute? Yeah, okay.
You guys take that, and I take
no, but
Pick
the
and Pay
scooter's gonna go up easy, brother.
No, those 50cc things, no, bro.
Oh, really?
Remember, with the altitude, the engine gets more smaller.
That's what they said about the cute.
So what I'm saying is, I take up braaivleis and stuff in the Pick and Pay ASAP little boxy. You guys meet me up there, and then we braai on the top of Sani Pass.
Cool.
We'll have the
Looking for a sponsor for that episode.
I just said Pick and Pay ASAP 3 times.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I've got a deep question. Seeing I woke up with this morning, and I wanted to ask you. Obviously, like in life, we spiritual beings as well. Not saying people go to church necessarily, but I was wondering like how your approach is towards, is spirituality something that's a part of it? Are you a spiritual person? Is it just like you straight up atheist, you don't care what happens after this life? But I'm going to ask my question with a metaphor that I think of. Like religion is a lot of times, this is going to be beautiful. This is a clip, Lalani. Religion is a lot of times like buying a vehicle, sorry. Because you put faith in a vehicle. And that's, you put faith in it, that it's going to keep you safe. It's going to take you where you want to go. And that's faith in the religion. I put my faith in a certain religion. I pay for it monthly. That's my favorite part. You pay for it monthly, either your 10th, the tithe, or some religions has an emotional price to it, or freedom. You can't drink this, or you can't eat that. So there's a price to pay with a certain. You're like looking at me like, where's this going?
No.
But my question basically is like, I'm more of a spiritual person than I grew up very Christian. Was a youth worker at a stage, and lately I'm more like into, I can hold on to what Jesus did as a person, but I struggle with the Bible and I struggle with church, but like I'm super in touch with like spirituality and people. This is church for me, like talking to you or like talking to someone at a coffee shop, whatever. That's for me church in a way. So I was wondering like if spirituality and religion is something important for you.
I think I've never really been religious. Like I went to religious schools and all of that, but I don't think that's anything out of my own personal choice. I'm just such a busy-minded person that I'm always thinking of so many things at the same time. So sitting down for like an hour to do like a Eucharist or like a Bible study, it was just so hard for me to actually focus and like think on it. But there are some scriptures in the Bible, like in Revelations, where you look at stuff that's happening today and you're like, oh my goodness, that's freaking scary. And I don't want to say I'm a non-believer or a believer. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I don't know what I am. I'm just
You're
a
a
dude.
seeker.
Yeah, I'm just a dude existing at the moment, you know? Like, if it's like that, it's like that. If it's like this, it's like this. It's fine. I don't really mind. So, but yeah, lately some stuff is a little bit weird that I am feeling a bit freaked out. So, I don't know, maybe if you ask me the question in a year, maybe I'll walk in here with like a sage and like, I banish the spirits.
But the point, dude, for me, like religion and spirituality, it's always a journey. It's never, you never come to one thing and it's like, this is it. And it stops there.
You don't complete religion. It's not like, well done, you're finished. Yeah.
No, well,
What's
some
your vibe?
people, if you ask them, they'll be like, yeah, no, I'm flat out religious. Like if you had to ask that question to my mother, she'd be like, yeah, I go to church every Sunday.
But it's always like, it's like ebb and flow. It goes like that. Sometimes it's stronger. Sometimes you doubt. Sometimes you're upset. Like whenever like a family member, when my father passed away, you go through this like, oh, but why?
Yeah.
He was such a good person. I've never asked you that. Are you sort of like a spiritual? What's your vibe?
No, I think I'm much the same as Sam. Like I'm.
Satanist.
What?
That's what I took from Sam's answer.
But I think that's it. Is like
do you guys want to play some board games?
Yeah, he came in here with a Jumanji board.
the beautiful thing about life is it's not either or. There is a possibility for someone to be seeking or trying to figure out. And I think I was given the privilege to also like go to religious schools. My dad's a pastor, so got to see a good side of. Or really got to see the inside of religion. But I do also feel like the human element for me is the problem. That's it.
Yeah, people are flawed.
People are flawed.
Hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people. Oh, that's a deep
All the
one.
small things.
Yeah.
Blink-182. I just quoted band lyrics.
But it's exactly that,
Saw
man.
that on the back of a
I
Hewlett's
think
packet.
the way you put it in that religion and spirituality, that's an individual's thing, man, and that's your journey to go on, and you never complete it. You're just kind of going through different phases and that sort of thing. And so my phase at the moment is let's explore, let's seek. I don't believe human beings are just here for no reason. Like there's other things happening. But yeah. Dude, yeah.
I got one more question from my side, unless you want to ask something.
Yeah, Themba spoke about something briefly earlier. You spoke about creative block.
Yeah.
And we said we touched on it with algorithms and everything. So I wanted to see, how do you guys feel about that?
Creative block. I just
stay
blocked.
How do you like? What is your go-to thing? Like, if you know that you're feeling like a creative block, how do you get yourself out of that?
I haven't figured that out yet. Like I'm quite happy to say, like, I'm in the middle of that at the moment. But one of the most important things for me that I've learned now is allowing yourself to play. So as a creative, we're lucky enough to get paid to be creative and have fun and that sort of thing. But the moment you start getting paid and there's deadlines and there's requirements and everything, it feels a little bit like work. And so at the moment, I'm working all the time now, and there's not that much room to play. And so I actually have to carve time out of a day to go just walk in the park, man. Go and sit at a coffee shop and do nothing for a little bit and allow those creative juices to flow, because we've gotten in such a rut from like a business perspective that like sitting and doing nothing that's not productive. It doesn't seem productive.
And you're so hard on yourself.
Yeah. So I'm like,
dude.
if I'm not doing something, I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
Whereas I actually need to step back and say, hey, sometimes doing nothing is good.
Yeah.
And if I believe if I can carve out a bit of time to do nothing, hopefully next week we'll see.
But for me, like the concept of doing nothing doesn't exist, because for me, how I work, and I think a lot, like everyone's like that, your subconscious develops the whole time. So you got ideas, say you want to do that Tanksy video that you spoke about. Like that idea is brewing in here, even though you're walking or gymming in the morning, whatever, like that thing is writing itself in the back. For me, what I realized it's homework. You need to go and sit and craft. Like if you wanna get to gold, you need to hit a rock. Like that's
Yeah.
mining 101.
Yes.
And that's how it works for me with the creative stuff. Is you know it's gonna be there. That's why you're in this industry. You know you're good. You haven't gotten the career that you have because of your average. You know you're good, but there's some part of it that sometimes the idea comes like that, then you're lucky. Other times you're just gonna have to sit and hit that rock and just sit and write. Because what I've realized is sometimes the stupidest thing, once you start writing it out, it flashes, it becomes nice and better
true.
and better. And that's just the part
Take shape.
that just like go and sit and do it. It's just telling yourself like there's some form of hitting a rock towards to a creativity that you don't think about always.
Yeah.
Do you ever
And-
feel like you overthink your content?
Yeah.
Every video,
all the time.
every little video.
All the time.
Yeah.
But I think it comes back to what you said before. Sometimes it just is those silly, simple ideas that people will resonate with and they'll just love it. And I think, another thing is just I don't get overly attached to my content anymore. Whereas at the beginning I was like, okay, last video did really well. Now the next video's got to do even better. And now I'm like, hey man, if it flops, it flops.
Yeah.
We'll make another one next week. So
That is the attitude that we're supposed to have here.
Mm.
I get super sad when my algorithms go down. Like, because I'll put a lot of effort into my videos, like a lot. And I always think like when I structure it, I'm like, okay, do I want value? Do I want entertainment?
Yeah.
Do I want shareability? Do I want comments? Like, what am I going for here? And then I break it down. I'm like, okay, cool. Then there's the whole idea. And when I put so much effort into it, and then I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
why did this not
Yeah.
resonate?
But that's it. I mean, we spoke about Van Gogh earlier.
Yeah.
You only know one or two of his paintings. He definitely made way more than
So
that.
true, bro.
And Ed Sheeran, one of my favorite musicians,
So
not
true.
every song he writes is a #1 treffer. So it's impossible for everyone to just keep on churning stuff that goes viral. Or I think I try to approach it like athletes. I always say like athletes run every day. Not every day is a race. Not every day is the Olympics. But they run every day because they like running. And you create because you like to create. No matter if it goes, but it's normal. It's a business as well. So you want to make your content to do good, but we're more than that. We've established that. We are
Yeah,
more
I
than our
often-
content.
Of course. I often find myself though thinking like, geez, do I need to reinvent the way I do content and do it a little bit differently and maybe try this and try that? But I suppose that's also actually the industry that we live in. We always need to be
Changing.
adapting, changing. Otherwise it actually becomes boring
Yeah.
because people get used to it. It's actually so strange because people appreciate structure,
Yeah.
but at the
And
same time people
familiarity.
get bored.
Mm.
You know, like familiarity. That's why I'm trying to think of a show that does so well, like Car Wow, with Matt Watson, that car reviewer. You know what's coming next. He'll go, like, here's my 5 favorite things, and then he'll do his 5 things that he
Yeah,
doesn't
there's
like.
a little there's a narrative to it.
I love that structured kind of stuff.
yeah.
That drives me. Like
Yeah.
I love it.
You dig
Yeah.
it, but it's
Yeah.
almost like from a social media point of view, that structure works, but then doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Dude, you just keep on doing you. One last
So-
thing from last comment from my side.
Yeah.
Did you guys see? There's a street being renamed. Well, it's in the
I
petition, Siakulisi Street. I think it's PE. Or no, Eastern Cape, somewhere in the Eastern Cape. Did you see that?
yeah.
Someone put up, and the government's like, yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good. So my next question is, which road are we going to call the Rassie Erasmus? Is it going to be the N1? I feel
There's not a
like the
chance.
N1. The N1 goes straight through the country, and the Rassie went straight to everyone's hearts. I think we should rename the N1 the Rassie Erasmus Highway.
I don't see.
Are we going to
I don't
petition?
see any street getting a Rassie.
Are we going to petition it?
I mean, we might as well. Who knows?
That's not the attitude. You need to go, yes. I was
You
live
don't
with
like to
Themba.
influence me like that. I'm my own person.
The petition is
My
going to
own
start on this page.
person.
Sam, thank you for being here.
I will sign it.
See, we got the first guy. We already.
Yeah.
Thanks for making the cool content. I dig it. It's awesome. Please go check out his pages. Even though if you're not into cars, it's not about the cars. That's the
Yeah,
that's the
it's
thing
more
about his
than that.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Parting words.
Thank you for having me, guys.
it's a pleasure.
You guys are big inspirations for me too. A lot of my creative flow comes from you guys, and I always like put the two of you as like the benchmark. The same way if you would say I'm the benchmark in cars, I always go like, geez. And I think I've watched both some of your ads and some of your ads, Themba, like over and over again till I'm like blue in the face laughing. And I remember there was one moment I went to, like, I think we were at Christmas, and I showed everyone the King Price ad, and I was like, you have no idea, the oak who makes these things is fucking, he's crazy, he's so cool. So yeah, a real privilege to be here with you guys and appreciate the real conversations.
Yeah. Thanks for
Awesome,
being here. We'll send you the invoice and then. Are
Supposed to be the other way around.
Are they charging you?
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap it up. It's been another awesome episode of How's Life with Themba and Bouwer. Or Bouwer and Themba is what we agreed.
With us. How's life with us?